All right, going live in three, two, one. This is Olivia On Air with we're up to episode number 37. How are you doing, Olivia?
I'm sleepy today. How are you?
I just took a nap, so I'm not as sleepy as you are, I think. So,
I'm jealous. I was going to take a nap, but I was also hungry, so I decided to eat dinner instead of a nap.
oh, okay. Well, so why are you sleepy? Any particular reason?
Well, I was doing homework all day. My art professor said that it's going to get harder until the final project. Um, and this art project that we're doing is particularly difficult for me. I'm not sure why. It's just the concept of it is hard for me to wrap my head around. So I'm having a hard time with it. And I completed half of it today. Spent a long time on it. And my dad decided that today would be a good day to repaint the front door.
Mm.
So that's also something that I helped him with. I sanded the door down and then we painted it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very tired.
So when you say painted, it was anything like artistic or just regular paint? Just
Just regular paint, one solid color.
oh, so kind of boring then, I guess.
Yeah, boring. But it needed an update.
So what color is the door now? Is it different than it was before?
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a orangey reddish color. Before it was like poopy brown. So it's
Oh,
better
okay.
now.
Was the old paint faded away or something or chipping or
No, it was just ugly. And we had a bit of time. Well, he had time today, so
okay. Well, I hope you like the new color and
yeah, it's much better. It's less depressing to look at. I like a bright door.
well, before we go too far, we would like to remind everybody if you'd like to help support what we're doing, we have an affiliate link in the description below for NordVPN. The service, I believe, last time I clicked on it, it was like about a 70% discount, which is pretty decent. And if you purchase the service, it helps fund what we're doing. I have used NordVPN. It works very well for hiding your location, for protecting your identity, and it does where it works. Every time I use it, it works perfectly fine. I had no issues with it. And the one thing I always like to say is people like to tell me that whenever they've used it, they can stream movies and TV shows from areas where they would normally be blocked. I cannot verify that, but several people say that works perfectly fine for that as well. So if you'd like to support if you'd like to support what we're doing, that's the link is in the description below, and we appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Also, when you were talking, I saw the little rings around my icon going, but there's no sound in my room. Did you hear something on my end?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Was
Just
there
worried about
something that
that.
we should have heard?
No, I was just looking at how the around our icons, the little gray circle.
Yes.
Yeah, that was just moving when while you were talking, and I was worried that there was some sort of something with the
Oh,
sound going on, but there's no. It's like totally quiet for once in my room. So
okay. I do hear it's not a big deal. Just so our listeners are maybe they hear it as well, like a little bit of movement or something. Maybe you're moving around or something. I don't think that can be heard because I'm wearing headphones, so it'd be very hard to hear it. So maybe that might be causing it. I don't know, but I did not notice it on my end. I did not notice. Definitely didn't hear anything, and I definitely didn't. I wasn't paying attention to see if your ring lit up at all. There it is, right there. I just saw it again. It may, yeah, it's what if you're doing. Are you moving around or something?
no, it's weird. It's like a ghost is in there in the microphone.
Goodness,
That's
yes.
spooky.
Yeah, it
Okay,
does. It just sounds like maybe you're like moving something around. That's all. So
interesting.
I don't think it's not a problem. It's not going to be an issue unless people are listening through headphones. So, and even then,
Okay,
it's not. It's like it just sounds like subtle background noise. Anyway, it's not a big deal. So,
okay, good.
alrighty. Well, let's check our question from last week. Do you remember what our question was? I completely forgot.
Um,
Let me see. I'm looking it
ooh,
up.
I don't
Do you
remember.
play a musical instrument? If so, what kind?
Oh yes, okay, because it was yeah.
Give me one second. I will bring that up here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, we got a decent response. Give me a signal. I didn't check your screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. Give me 1 second. And oops, I have lost you. There we go. Okay, there we go. Do you see that?
Yes.
Good. Good. So do you play a musical instrument? If so, what kind? And wow, overwhelmingly 70% with no. That's 1,500 votes, by the way. I forgot to mention that. 14% with yes professionally, 12% with yes as a hobby, and 4% with yes, I just started. And I don't remember no being so, I don't remember what it was before. I don't remember it being that high when we first asked that question. So I think there's been a switch over. I don't, do you remember?
I think the professionally one was the highest when we started, and no was like second highest. I
Okay.
think that's what it was.
So it's just but I would say that that number sounds probably, I don't know, a little lopsided. I would think that some people would be a little more, I think the no should be a little less if we were to do it on a grander scale. Like if we didn't just have our own audience, maybe it might be a little bit more 50-50. What do you think?
I don't know, because I mean, yeah, I guess out of I mean, out of all the people that I've met, only a handful, like that have been my friends in my life, I guess, only a handful are musically inclined. Maybe like, I don't know, not many.
Oh, really? Okay, well, maybe it is pretty fairly accurate then. Okay. I played I might have said this. Took piano lessons and guitar lessons, but I never really went anywhere with them when I was a kid. And so I guess, I don't know. Actually, those yeses it was definitely not professionally. Definitely, maybe I would have to say maybe as a hobby. And no, I didn't just start. So I guess if anything, it would have to be under the hobby question. So I guess and my sister did that. My mother did that, did some musical. So, but my dad did not. So I'm basing it on my own family and my best friend. I've been friends since we're 10 years old. I think he played some sort of instrument or something as well. So that's when, and other friends that I have, they've also said that. So I guess my thought is it would be based on my own experience, but obviously that's not going to be what everyone else is experiencing. So that's why I thought it'd be more like 50-50.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, well, let's look at the responses we got here. Team Roger says totally no. I don't know what the first one says. Sorry. I'm not going to translate that. Next one, her. I'm not sure what that means. Yes, I used to drum in the desk in school with the boys like a bunch of monkeys. Let's see. Technically, I've been paid for my performance before, so that's a professional gig. However, I consider myself more of a hobbyist of guitar. That's cool.
Cool.
Got a hello. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I will not try to butcher it. So, but he says, "Hey, Zoomian child." I said, "Hey, back to you." So, thank you. Let's see, piano, violin, and see, and he also comes back and says, "You have funds." Okay, cool. Thank you. You have funds too. So, let's see. Nazi guy says, piano, violin, and the flute professionally. That's cool.
Cool.
GFS for Life says, and by the way, GFS stands for Grove Street Families. That's the street gang in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So it says all kinds of guitar, and acoustic, clean, and distortion. Oh, okay. And okay, one more. He said good night. So good night to you too. Thanks for leaving the comments. Let's see. And by the way, in the game they often say Grove for Life. So in case you're wondering what that means, it's a spin on, it's kind of like a spin on a phrase that's said in the game. So they'll say Grove for Life. He's just saying Grove Street Families for Life, in case you're wondering. So I'm not sure, I'm not gonna try to pronounce the name, but no. Let's see. Warm Sunny says, I play clarinet for my school as a hobby and passion. And I didn't know that that Squidyard had a fan. Not sure what that means. So, let's see. Davey 94084 YouTuber gonna comment this dude because awesome. Well, he loved bass, so that's why he could play at bass. Is okay. I can't read it. Sorry, it's broken up a little too much there. But cool. I'll let everyone else read that one. So, Kiss Best Fan says used to play bass guitar, electric guitar, drums, and keyboard. Cool.
Cool.
I can't pronounce the name. Sorry. He says I play electric guitar just as a hobby, and or as just a hobby. And not sure about the name, but actually, yeah, I know to play how to play saxophone. Cool. Very nice. Alrighty. How do you feel about that? Anything you'd like to add
That's
to it?
cool. A lot of people are like super instrumental in that's like awesome. I love it when people have fun hobbies.
Hmm. And the that's right. Did I talk about my playing of the harmonica? I think I did, right?
Yeah. That's when I learned how a harmonica works.
Yeah. Okay.
No
So
idea.
yeah, I did that there. So that would definitely be a hobby, but I haven't done that for a long time. I did that when I was just out of high school. I did that for just for fun for a few years. So, and alrighty, well, thanks everybody. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and ask our question for this week. Would you like to go ahead and read that while I post it up here?
Yes. I asked, have you ever been to the opera? If so, which one? And the answers can be yes, no, but I want to, and no, I'm not interested.
Oh, okay. So why this particular question?
In the movie that we watched, Moonstruck, they go to the opera, and I just thought that would be a fun tie back to the movie.
Uh,
My answer for this is probably no, I'm not really interested because some of the notes get a little too high pitched for me, and then it gets irritating for my personal ears. Um, I would rather go to like a ballet or something.
oh, okay. I I mean, it's going to sound weird, but I don't think I have gone to the opera. But I know my sister used to sing opera when she went to school, when she went to college, or she went to university actually. And I remember hearing her sing as a performance, but it wasn't. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it was actually an opera or if it was just her. Maybe just her and a couple of the people singing on stage. I don't remember. So I guess kind of like an opera, maybe. So
Yeah, that sounds opera-ish,
so
opera adjacent. Yeah.
and she was very good too, very talented. I'm not just saying that because she's my sister. I really think she was very talented. She did not she when she was that age, she was going to pursue that career, but then she decided not to for some reason. And she would even I remember her even saying to me that she was going to become a famous singer. And I said to her, "Well, I don't think that's going to happen." I wasn't trying to be rude, but I just didn't think it was going to happen. And no, I didn't. I really didn't mean that. It wasn't trying to be mean. But then lo and behold, I was right. I don't want to be right. I'd rather have seen her become a famous singer, but after all, but still, but but she really was she could have been very much a professional singer. That's how well her voice was, how strong her voice, and how very talented she is. So, but
Yeah, awesome. I mean, opera is super difficult. I knew only one person in high school that was like actively pursuing opera. I never heard her sing, but it's like it from what I've heard of opera, it's like very difficult.
and I remember her telling me that my sister, that is, that she had to learn Italian, I think, to or at least how to
Yeah.
sing in Italian. I don't know if she had to learn the whole language, but at least how to learn the lyrics in Italian and some of the things that she sung.
That
So,
makes sense.
yeah. So, alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and post that. You ready? Does it look good?
Yes.
All right. So wait a minute. What was your response? So you've never actually been to an opera, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what did you say though? I forgot. You would say you're not really interested, right?
I'm not too interested. Sometimes the it gets too high pitched for me, and it like I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes when a sound is too like high pitched, it makes me irritable. I don't know why. It happens very quickly. It's really weird.
Interesting. There's something that you could try with your family, which would be kind of funny. It's talking about pitched noise sounds. If you took there's sound as everyone gets older. I used to teach this when I was a teacher about over 10 years ago. Um, if you There are certain frequency ranges that as a person gets older, you cannot hear anymore. It's just not possible for you to hear. So once you get up into your 30s and definitely by your 40s, you can't hear certain sounds anymore. So I would demonstrate this in my class. I would take a 17 kilohertz tone and I'd play it, and usually it was just me that couldn't hear it. The rest of the class could. So, and the rest of my class was approximately about your age right now, what your age is right now. And you could actually do it with your parents and have and see, get it. Usually it doesn't have to be a 17 kilohertz. It could be something around a 18 kilohertz or a 16 kilohertz tone as well. Just play it and turn it up and see if they hear it. And most likely, I can tell you based on how, I don't know how old your parents are, but most likely they would not be able to hear the sound, and you would. And
Yeah, that's fun.
yeah,
I think I've seen that kind of experiment before, but it was just like a Instagram video. Yeah, that sounds cool.
yeah. And the funny part was when I tested it out, the first time I ever did it, I took a tone generator and I put it up to about 17 kilohertz, and so I couldn't hear it, so I turned it up real loud, and I still couldn't hear it. And all of a sudden, most of my class jumped because they could hear it. So I looked at them and go, "Oh, you could hear that?" And they go, "Yeah." Some of them said, "Yes, it was too loud." So,
That's fun
so
and creepy and scary a little bit. Like
the
nothing, just yeah, that's kind of spooky.
I one of my students even told me at the time that you could get that they even make special ringtones for children, for people that are like teenage into their early 20s, that are only heard at those frequency ranges, so that when the phone rings, their parents cannot hear the phone ringing.
Ooh, that's sneaky.
Yeah. So I've never seen them, but I assume that they're real. So, but, okay.
Probably.
Alrighty, we'll bring that back later. So, did you want to jump right into our movie review for this evening?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so why don't you? Well, we're going to review the movie Moonstruck from 1987. Why don't you tell us how you felt, or what was the first time you'd seen this? What was give us your experience. I mean, on how you experienced this for the first time, I guess.
Well, I guess my first experience of the movie was well, it's my mom's favorite movie, and I probably walked in on my parents watching it, and I thought to myself, this is boring and lame, because I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something. And my dad always quotes, get me the big knife or whatever, jokingly. Um, and so that's kind of like, I knew of it, but since I was a kid, I was like, old person movie, I don't care. And then I watched it for the first time maybe a year or two ago, and I watched it 4 times in a row. I'm not even joking about that. I don't know what possessed me to do that. I've never done it before or since, but I watched Moonstruck 4 times in a row. I love it so much, and I can't really put my finger on why. I know that it's like it's the way I perceive it is it's like a movie about not only love, but just like not just like romantic love, but family love and kind of just life. And I think it's really nice. I just like it a lot. Aesthetically, it's really beautiful too. And I love Cher, of course.
Oh, sure. Okay, gotcha. The before we go too far, we get more comments. You're a veteran of GTSA. Yes, thank you. Yeah, GTA 6 is launching. I don't know. I didn't hear about that one. If you have any more information, let us know. And I'm Brazilian. That's cool. Cool. Thank you. So the basic plot of the movie is Cher is going to get is being proposed to by, I guess, her boyfriend, fiance, and as the movie, and she's not really in love with him, which is kind of strange. So
Well, they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. I think they're just friends.
okay.
Um, and he proposes marriage to her because she takes care of him, I guess. And I think he had it planned. I don't know. I never thought too hard about whether they were boyfriend and girlfriend or not, but from what I like the feeling I got from it, they weren't romantically involved. It was just that her previous husband had died, and Johnny, the guy that the screen is on right now, knew her husband, and so they became friends that way, I guess.
Hmm.
And I guess I mean, at the time, and in Italian, or yeah, in Italian families, as far as I know, it was very customary for a woman to get married, and be married and have kids, and like kind of stick to that. And if your spouse dies or whatever, you get remarried and try it again or whatever. I think,
Hmm.
from what I understand, yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh,
so it might just have been that they were good friends and she took care of him, and so he thought that it would be a good idea to marry her. But they might have also been uh, dating or something.
okay. I thought that was kind of odd, the whole thing. So, but okay, so that's a good explanation to. Yeah, it's good as to why they would get married, because she definitely said she was not in love with him, and she acted like it was just something that she had to do anyway. So,
Right.
and I looked up Cher's age, by the way, and I didn't know this. She was born the same year as my mother, so she's the same year as my mother, which is kind of interesting. So the and she has gray hair in this, but I'm wondering if the gray hair was just, I think it was just added, because I don't know, maybe she really did have gray hair. I think it was just added so they could take it out later on. So
I think so.
because I don't think I've seen her with gray hair in any other movies, but based on her age, it seems kind of young to have gray hair at that point. But that's not impossible. I've seen people have gray hair at that age. So the
It's true.
as far as the love interest that she does meet, she eventually, basically Johnny, the other guy that she's going to meet right here, that she's talking to, he has a brother he hasn't spoken with in 5 years. So, and he wants his brother. Did he want to make up with his brother? Is that he was trying to do? He wanted to have it so that his brother would be at the wedding, and so that's when Cher's character, I forget Cher's character, was her name Loretta? Is that right?
Loretta, yeah.
Loretta wants to go. She goes to meet the brother to convince him to come to be at the wedding. Is that right?
Right. Johnny wanted, yeah,
Ronnie?
Johnny Camilleri and Ronnie. Yes, okay. Johnny wanted Ronnie to be at the wedding, because they had bad blood, and when he went to see his dying mother, he said that he realized that family is everything and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm. Now, I will say before we go too far, my grandmother on my dad's side was 100% Italian, and the way she talked, she passed away about 20 years ago, but when she talked, it does kind of sound like the people that are in this movie. And I had some aunts and uncles on my dad's side of the family that also kind of talk like that as well. So it's kind of funny to hear them talk like this. My grandfather was Irish, so he did not speak like that. So, but and my dad did not speak like an Italian. But when he was with his family, he might have spoken like that. I just didn't catch on to it very much. But I do. It is funny how they talk. It is very, from what I remember, very authentic. I don't talk like that. So I'm a one quarter Italian. So
yeah, I think these characters are supposed to be a little stylized. Um, but I do, from what I understand, they share practice really hard on the accent, and try to make it very accurate.
mm. And now I'm going to ask you this because I know you've had objections in the past. What about the age difference between the actors? I mean, I don't know what the characters, what their age was supposed to be, but when I looked up their age difference between Cher and the guy who played Johnny, there's like a 13-year age difference, and then Nicolas Cage, which becomes her love interest, there's an 18-year age difference between him and her. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a little weird, um, but in the movie, I don't really notice it, which is, I don't know why, but it doesn't really get into my brain. I
Okay.
don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, if it was, um, I guess since they're all adults, it's fine. But if it was in the movie, they were supposed to be that those age differences were supposed to be so far apart, that would have been more concerning for me.
I see. So what if you had like, I'm just kind of curious. I think for you it's like, it's if it's younger, it's probably more of a problem. Like if it was an 18-year-old and a 29-year-old, that would be a problem, right? That would
Yeah, I feel like I just think that when you look back at yourself when you're 20 and when you look back at yourself when you're 18, there was such a huge difference. I feel like when I was just a year ago and 2 years ago, I was an idiot. And I obviously I'm young, so I that's how it's supposed to be. And so thinking about like a 26-year-old dating a 18-year-old that's just barely in the world, it's kind of gross.
I got you. The reason the age I show 18 and 29, the reason I throw that age in there is because that's the age difference between her Cher in real life and Sonny Bono when they were together. They were 11 years apart, and she was a teenager when they met. So,
Yeah.
and I think I brought that up before. That is kind of a little that one is. But let's say you had someone that was like say 53 and 43, though 10 years, and they were like much older. That wouldn't be so much. That wouldn't be so odd then at that point because they're much older, right?
Right, because it's like after your brain stops developing when you're 25, right?
Mhm.
And after that, when you get to be like 27 and older, you kind of have a better idea of who you are, I feel like. I hope. Um, and a better idea of how the world works and everything. And so you're kind of on the same level as mentally as everyone else. Maybe you just don't know as much stuff, like hobbies and stuff, but other than that, you know.
Right. So
Yeah.
okay. So getting off of our age discussion here, we meet the old elderly woman here that put a curse on the plane because and this whole movie has the same theme. Everyone seems to be cheating or in love with someone else. Um,
Yeah, very very much a movie about love, and I feel like it's also about like the heart wants what it wants, that kind of thing.
right. And the elderly woman said her sister cheated on her in some way. Like, what was, you remember? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, her sister stole her man way back when, and now she's going back to Sicily, and so she put a curse on the plane.
Yeah, so it would explode, she said. And that, of course, Loretta's Johnny is on the plane, so she doesn't want anything to happen to him. So this scene was kind of funny there. So, and of course, that looks like everything's taking place, I guess, during Christmas time, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, maybe in the
Uh,
winter at least.
okay, because it looked like I saw some Christmas lights every once in a while, and I wasn't sure. Not a big deal because if it was, they weren't making a big deal out of it. That's all. So. So we get to meet her family. This is her father, who eventually we find out he's seeing another woman, right? And then
Yeah.
the mother, who's played by she's a well-known well, she was a well-known actress, Olivia Dukakis. So
Yes.
she's very good. Would you like to add your opinion to this part?
To what part?
With the family, I guess of the mother and the father.
Oh, I mean, I don't like cheating, and I usually hate to see that kind of thing in movies. But in this movie, I don't know. It's not that I love the act. I just love how they show every part of it, and they show how the dynamics of the couples can change in different ways, but still be the same. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't have words for it, unfortunately, but I love it a lot.
I mispronounced her name, by the way. It's Olympia Dukakis. I said Olivia. I think it's your name. Sorry.
Oh wait, what? How did you say it?
It's
I
her
didn't
name,
hear a difference.
Olympia Dukakis.
Oh,
So not I said your name, which was Olivia Dukakis. It's actually Olympia Dukakis. So,
okay.
but yeah. So we got a question again. Same person. I don't want to butcher your name, but what's the name of the movie? It's Moonstruck from 1987. So, alrighty. So as the movie goes on, she's going to go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is who is this? The grandfather? Is this her Loretta's grandfather? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And the dogs, I feel kind of sorry for the dogs almost because it looked like they starved those dogs to get some of these scenes in here. I don't know. What do you think?
I know. Yeah. I feel like when people get older, if the whole family isn't going to be taking care of them, just in the movie, I feel like if the whole family isn't going to be taking care of the dogs, then they should just stick to one. So that's why I feel bad for the dogs. But yeah, they look a little. I don't know how people treated animals in movies at that time, but probably not too well.
Yeah, it because when there was a scene up, I think it might become up here where the dogs just are like they look like they're starving. And it's like, Mike, what did they do? I'm like feeling sorry for the dogs because usually at the end of movies, even during this period, they'll have no harm was committed to any animal during the making of this movie. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't look for that, but I'm wondering if that was there because they really like I did feel sorry for them. It just looked like they purposely starved just to get that reaction. So.
Yeah, maybe.
So, so the oh yeah, this is we get to meet Nicolas Cage character Ronnie. So he's at the shop, the bakery shop that is, and we learned that he lost his hand. He's angry at his brother because his brother his brother was indirectly responsible for him losing his hand. How did that work exactly?
Well, in his version, it was his brother's fault because his brother distracted him and his hand got gnawed off by a machine. But one of the reasons why I love this scene so much is because it's so dramatic for, I feel like, not much, just because like Cher says that it's not Johnny's fault that he lost his hand, and I think that she's right because looking away from a machine that could hurt you is, you know, kind of your fault if you look away, you know?
Right. Right.
Um, but I just love how it was so dramatic. I think he played it so well. Um, and that line, "Get me the big knife," is I feel like that's very memorable, and it makes me chuckle every time I see it.
Yeah. So the scene is basically he's gonna kill himself and he's gonna grab the big knife and do it in front of everybody to prove he's going to kill himself and that something to that in that respect, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and there's his fake hand or his artificial hand. I don't know what you would call it there, but
prosthetic.
yeah, there you go. Prosthetic. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. So, so they decide to, oh, this is the scene with the plumber. Oh, well, he's the plumber, excuse me. And he says it's going to be $10,000. Was there any relevance to that? I didn't really think there was much relevance to that scene.
Sorry, there's a dog. Um, yeah, I just think it shows how, like, what his line of work is. I think it showed how, because I don't think that copper pipes and installation should cost that much at that time. Maybe at this time, but not at that time. And I just think it kind of shows what kind of a person he is to be able to maybe not deceive, but convince people to spend a little more money than they need to.
Right. And the wife was like, the woman here was like, no, she wasn't really, she didn't want to, but the husband was like, yeah, he thought it was reasonable somehow.
Yeah.
So, okay. I didn't really, other than that, I didn't really see much relevance. But then we find out that he's attracted to this woman right here, right?
Yeah, I think this scene is so funny. I don't know why. Not funny and like it's supposed to be humorous. I think how he talks to her and looks at her, it's just so obvious he wants someone to see him as something new and amazing and not, you know, how a
Mhm.
wife of what 20 or 30 years would see him. I don't know. I just think it's funny.
And so this is where jumping past that, we get to the scene now with the two of them. Now this is a little unbelievable because he throws the table over.
Completely unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
And,
so is their conversation. I think in this part, um, they're both wrong. Cher's wrong to criticize him for not being with another woman. And um, she's also wrong to say that he meant to tear his hand off. And I don't know. I just think I don't know. It's just a good scene, but I don't know why. I can't explain it.
uh, let's go to the part where you can say, oh yeah, they throws out the he kisses her and then they go, I guess, have sex. So and yeah, it's like, but they just yeah, the whole scene was like, what? I was like, what? Why are they what?
Completely unrealistic. None of it would really happen. It's just very dramatic.
Uh-huh. And so yeah, and I don't know what is what is there any significance? I forget what the significance of this scene is there. If there's anything.
Oh yeah, he talks about the moon. He talked to I don't remember the character's name. The one in that, like, it's kind of like a yellowish greenish jacket.
On the right, yeah.
Yeah. He was talking about how, well, at first they were going to talk about Loretta and Johnny's wedding, but then the, oh, what is his name? Loretta's dad said he didn't want to talk about it. And then the guy in the yellow green jacket, I'm going to look up their names. The guy in the yellow green jacket was starting to talk about how, let me find the name.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who he is as well. Let me see. No, it's not. I'll bring up the list I'm looking at here.
Cosmo. There we go.
Oh, Cosmo. Right.
Yeah. He wait a minute. Raymond Kapamaji?
I'm not going to try.
I guess that was his name. The guy in the yellow green jacket. Raymond was talking about Cosmo and how Cosmo acted when he first fell in love with Rose. And then he started talking about the moon and how one night he thought that Cosmo had made the moon bigger or something because of how much he loved Rose.
Okay. So, and yeah, then we start going to the scene where everyone's looking at the moon here. So,
yes.
Yeah, they're looking at he's looking at the first Olympia Dukakis, I forget her character's name. Rose. He's looking at it, then Loretta and Ronnie are looking at it, and then this guy. This is not Cosmo, right? This is
right. That's Raymond and Rita.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you. And they're looking.
I love that scene. It's so cute.
And then of course we have the older man. Is this Cosmo? Is this Cosmo or
no? Cosmo is the Rose's husband, Loretta's dad.
Oh, okay. And this is I forget. This is Loretta's grandfather, though, right? Is that right?
Yes. Okay. I just know. I think the Rose called him old man, but I don't know if he has a real name for the movie.
Okay. And so they're all looking at it, and they got the dogs to howl. Kind of funny. So, all right. So it's the next morning, and they're in love with each other apparently, which was kind of weird. This scene right here, I used to listen to a radio show back in the day, and they would play little movie clips. In this scene where she says, I forget how she worded it, but I recognized it right away because I'd heard it before. I did something, and then I slept with my fiance's brother, and I did something with some money. I forget what but they used to play that all the way up to the point where the priest would say, but what was that second thing you said? And then they would cut it off right there. So, but yeah, that's a funny line right there. She kind of brushes over it pretty quickly too. So,
yeah, I'm trying to avoid it.
So, and he tells her to do penance, like I forget what he said for the penance, but
I think he said, take a look at your life or something like that.
Oh, is that what he said? Okay.
Like something along those lines.
Okay. And so these two own the store, right?
Yes.
There's a scene later on where she was supposed to make a deposit or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and that threw me off because I don't remember them giving her the money. All I remember is at the end they were like all concerned, and they're like, she said, "Oh, I forgot to make the deposit or something."
This is when they give her the money.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it's in this scene because it goes from this scene and then she gets a makeover, I think.
Okay.
That's when she starts her little makeover.
We got Does the House Play 3.0 saying hello. Hello back.
Hello.
So, all right. Yeah, because I missed that altogether. So
Yeah, there we go.
that
That's
was
when they give her
ah,
the money.
gotcha. Okay.
They ask her about what she is going to do today or what she's been doing, and she's like, I don't want to talk about it.
And so yeah, because she's kind of she's now obviously in love because of one night stand, I guess. With
Yeah, and also, here's the question. Do you think if she didn't love Johnny, do you think he would have cared? And if he was going to come home and say, because he came home and before she could tell him what she did, he said that he wants to call off the wedding.
wait, I missed something there. Say it again. I'm sorry.
So before, at the end, we don't have to go to the end, but at the end, before before Cher can tell Johnny what she did with his brother,
Right.
Johnny says that he wants to call off the wedding because his mom is, it's like a miracle and she's come back to life or whatever.
Right.
And so do you think that if she did tell him before he could say that he wanted to call off the wedding, do you think he would have cared that much?
I think he might have been. I think they probably would have made him upset. Yeah, I think so. Meaning the writers probably would have had him become upset in that respect.
Oh,
I think.
I
I'm just
think
guessing. I don't know.
I
What do you?
think maybe he would have been happier that Ronnie was back in his life and had forgiven him.
Hmm.
Maybe that would have been more important. I don't know, because I feel like this movie is also really, it's not just emphasizing the romantic love, it's also emphasizing the familial love that they all have for each other. So maybe it would have been like for the message of the movie, maybe he would have been happier about his brother being forgiving him. Yeah.
That's a good point. Okay, that's a good point. So I think you're persuaded me a little bit more to be leaning in that direction. So
Hmm?
you've persuaded me to be in that direction, I guess, leaning for what you're saying. Because basically, what I was saying was because I thought he might have been kind of stubborn in the sense that he would have been more adamant because he proposed. He would have felt rejected, and he didn't want to face the rejection. That's what I was saying. My version.
That's true. Yeah, and he probably would have, you know what? He was really upset that he had to give her his pinky ring, so he probably would have asked for his pinky ring back, mainly.
Right. So, and he does. She does give it back. She drops it. Did she throw it or just drop it on the floor at that point?
Oh, I don't know.
I know it gets on the floor.
I
So
think yeah, she threw it, I think.
okay. Well, we'll get up there eventually here. So, but okay. So she gets all nice. Okay. So here's leading up to the part, our question from this evening that we asked our viewers. They decide to go to an opera, and she does herself. She makes herself look really attractive. So
Beautiful.
yeah. And they meet, and Ronnie doesn't seem like the kind of person who would be into opera. So, what do you think?
I agree. I was surprised when he wanted to go, but I feel like anyone can have any passion. And yeah, it is Christmas. There's a big Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw that. I think, I don't know. He doesn't like seem, because he seemed just very angry, but maybe the opera is where he can feel his feelings, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they go to see that. No, the one thing when they're getting, what is this right here? You know?
Those just look like fancy chandeliers that can move up and down.
Yeah, and it was does that, I guess that signifies that the opera is going to begin or something? Is that why they're looking?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been in a orchestra when I was in like grade school, and they had a similar sort of thing. There was still lighting to the stage, but the lights, I think maybe the lights just dimmed. I don't think it was fancy enough for them to have lights that went up to the ceiling, but the lights dimmed to show that this show's about to start.
Okay. So we see that, and then we see that Rose here is she was just going to have dinner by herself, and then what's his name? This guy. What's this guy's name? Perry. Is this Perry? This is Perry, right?
Um,
Yeah, he's Perry. His name is
yeah.
Perry. Yeah. So, and we saw Perry get. This is the second time he got water thrown in his face, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's dating one of his students, which I am 100% against. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't think that's right in any way, shape, or form. So, the no matter how you feel about it, your students is that should always be 100% something you should never do. Because I taught for 5 years, and I would never consider asking any of my female students out on any for any reason. So, it would, I think it could ruin the whole classroom perspective. No matter how the results comes out, whether if it became a positive relationship or negative relationship, it could still ruin her learning abilities and would destroy her eventual career. So I would never ever think that would be a good idea in any way. So
I agree. And was that like a common thing in the 70s and 80s? Because I feel like it's portrayed in movies and shows from that time or about that time pretty often.
I've seen that too. The movie Animal House did something like that too. I forget the actor's name, but he was also dating one of his students in that movie. So I don't remember it being a common thing. So it could just be a movie thing. That's all I'm guessing,
It's
but I
true.
don't know. So, but yeah, the in the Rose when the young woman goes to drink out, he says the same thing. Like he stands up and he tries to make light of the situation. So and then they decide Rose asks, "Would you like to have a meal with her?" And then they seem to get really close. And by the time they're done, they're walking out and they're holding hands together as well, which is a little seem like they're moving pretty quickly too. So
I think, well, first of all, I wanted to point out how Rose and Loretta say pretty much the same thing. I'm pretty sure Loretta says to Johnny, uh, she's too young for him or something like that. And then Rose says to him that, so, like the same sort of thing.
yeah.
So I thought that was a fun thing that they did.
Oh,
Sorry, I need some water. Hold on.
okay. The thing I noticed was that the other woman he was with at the beginning was also pretty young too. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I think she was also a student.
Okay.
But anyway, Rose, I think she had told Loretta at church that she knew that Cosmo was cheating, and she didn't have any proof, but she just kind of knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Loretta, when she went out that night, she saw her father with another woman, so it confirmed it. Um, and I think maybe Rose didn't feel anything romantic for Perry, but maybe she just wanted to um, kind of try to understand Cosmo or get back at him, maybe, or something like that.
Okay.
Um, and maybe it was just the company of someone else, you know?
What else was Perry in this movie? I don't remember. Was he didn't have any other significant role other than being a kind of like a potential love interest for Rose, right?
Right.
Because I don't remember him doing anything else significant in the movie. So, uh,
Right.
so there you go. Oh, there was the scene with the art. How did you feel about that piece of art? Did you see? Let me see if I
I
can get.
think I liked it. I don't remember.
Let me see if I can get to it. There it is.
Oh, I do like that. I like how it's flamboyant.
Wait for a second here. I don't want to get
Very
too much.
bright. I love the colors.
1 second here. There we go. Right there. Okay.
I love it. I love how it's kind of abstract, but it's not completely abstract, where you can see how it would be in an opera house, because there's like the violin, people dancing. Um, is that a bird? Maybe it's a bird. It's very, I like it. It's very bright. I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to make out what the imagery is supposed to be. I can see the bird on the right. Is that what you're looking at? Kind of like the top right corner of the
Yes.
screen. Yeah.
And then there, that seems to be under that, it seems to be a tree, but at the top of the tree, there's a woman's head. It seems like the kind of art where the longer you look at it, the more stuff you see. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I see more faces in here, and
Yes.
here. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a lot of people dancing, maybe?
Mm-hmm. And another person here. I'm not sure what they're doing, but yeah, if you see dancing, I could see that, I guess, too. So, all right. So, this is where Rose encounters grandfather, whatever he is, because we don't know his name, and he just gives her a look, and let's go on, and it's like, is she? I guess he knows. Yeah, the grandfather knows that everyone's seeing someone else now, I guess, at this point. So,
See, I don't think that this is Rose cheating. I don't really consider it that. I think that because Perry asked to walk Rose home, and she agreed to it. And I think maybe she was just feeling, I think maybe in the movie, the character was supposed to be feeling bad about what Cosmo is doing. Because I don't think she doesn't invite him in. Um, and she doesn't do like cheating things. I think she lets him kiss her on the cheek, but that's
hmm,
kind of it.
right, right. And then who's this?
It was the opera.
Oh, that's right, the opera. Right. And then they're watching the opera. Yeah, and she gets really emotional. And I don't think I don't know from what I remember of seeing any kind of opera. I don't think I could get that emotional. Maybe because I just don't understand what they're saying. So, but I guess if you're really into it, I guess you could get really emotional about it. So she was said that the character died of TB, as she put it. And
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not sure if that's an actual opera that's real, or if it's one they just created for the movie here. Because I don't know enough about what they were watching there. So,
Me neither.
and so we get to see her father. Father's with somebody, father sees that she's with somebody else. So,
Oh yeah, and then they ask you. She's asking him. I don't know if I saw you here or what. And I guess they agree that they both didn't see each other.
oh right. So this is where they give a little kiss on the cheek. We kind of skipped over that. Uh, these two are now somehow firmly in love after only a day or two. Going to the opera, I guess it does that to people.
Oh yeah, it's completely unrealistic. They don't know anything about each other. Um, but I feel like neither do Johnny and Loretta.
Yeah, well, yeah. And Johnny comes back. He's just arriving now and keeps on forgetting his suitcases for some reason. There's a whole bunch of scenes where he just keeps on forgetting them. So, and then he comes in. Rose sees him.
She asks him why men chase women, and he
Oh, right.
says that he thinks it's because they fear death. And she
Yeah,
says that's it.
it wasn't that question was asked earlier by Perry too, right, or something to that. Wasn't there? It was earlier when she was having a conversation with Perry at the restaurant, right?
Yeah, she asks Perry why. I don't remember what he said though.
Yeah,
He
it
didn't
wasn't
give her the answer she wanted.
right, right. So so she was really spot on. He was like, well, after she says that's the answer, he kind of backtracks a little bit, but she's like, no, that's right, that's right.
Yeah.
So, uh, so of course, father walks in. He's like, he knows something. He's not gonna tell. Basically, we assume it's because Loretta's dating his younger brother, so he doesn't want him to know yet. So I will say this turntable is actually a professional DJ turntable. I don't know if you know that. You see the little light on the side here. So professional DJ turntables, you can change the pitch, the speed. I should say the speed of the record, so you can change the pitch. So or the so it goes slower or faster, so you can match it to other songs from when you go into and out of another song. So that's what that little light is on the side. So
Cool. I
I
guess
I had one of those. That's why I know. But go ahead.
that's cool. I guess what we know about Johnny is that he's depressed because he doesn't have hand and he loves music.
Oh, okay. He's depressed because he likes music.
He's depressed because he doesn't have a hand
Right.
and he
Okay.
loves music.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying he was. Never mind. I thought you meant it was both of those reasons. I see what you're saying. So, what was the music playing? What was it? Anything significant? Was there anything significant about the actual song?
I think it was probably from the opera that they saw, because that's what it was the first time, I think. But I'm
Okay.
not sure.
All right. So we see her. She's still dressed up from the night before. Uh, this is everyone's confronted everybody here, kind of in a
Oh,
way.
that scene makes me cry. And
Really?
my dad always calls Cosmo an idiot when he watches this scene. Because Cosmo says something like, when a man realizes his life is built on nothing, that's when he something. And Rose says, your life is not built on nothing. And my dad always says that Cosmo's an idiot because he doesn't see how great his life is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and it's after Cosmo says what he said about his life being built on nothing after Rose tells him that she wants him to stop seeing his mistress.
Oh, right. Yeah. She asks him what's referred to as a loaded question. She accuses him in the form of a question, basically.
That's
So,
what that is.
yes.
Oh, I learn something new every day.
Yeah. And my mother used to do that when I was a kid to try to trick me and my sister into confessing. So but yes, and then he's at that point he just goes ahead and says, yeah, okay. And he just admits to it. So before we go too far, Unpleasant Zombie saying hi and asking, what is this? We're reviewing the movie Moonstruck from 1987. So, and this is where she confronts him. Excuse me. Sorry. And then the family, these two come in from the store and they're like all worried that maybe she had tried to steal the money, but they didn't want to admit to that. Then she said, oh no, it's just a mistake. I forgot to deposit the money. And they're happier there. And that's when Johnny walks in. Johnny walks in and there's this is where it gets kind of funny. He says he can't marry her because, like we talked about this before, because his mother's doing better now. So that means he doesn't have to get married. And then that's when Loretta gets all upset, which is like, you're as the audience, you're like, wait, what? Why is she getting upset?
Yeah, that is, and yeah, makes me laugh.
So and he, she pulls the ring off. It goes onto the floor. Did we decide that she actually dropped it and threw it on the floor intentionally, or
I think she threw it at Johnny.
Oh, okay, and it just went on the floor. Okay. I think I don't know whatever happened to it. I don't know if it went on. I forget. I just remember, and then she says she's going to marry Ronnie, and then they need a ring, so they give it back, and that's when everybody's like basically cheering, and
the old man says he starts crying, and Cosmo asks him why, and he said, "I'm so confused."
So. Alrighty. So, anything else you'd like to add before I give our final thoughts about this?
I also like the pictures at the end.
How many different pictures are there? Because I kind of skipped past. Actually, I didn't skip past these. It was just two pictures, right? It's the same picture, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, the elderly couple. I remember seeing them on the picture. Okay, we got this. Okay, we got the hand over to here. Got this, and then we got them, but they never say who they are, do they?
No, they look like maybe the parents of the old man or something like that. I just like that little added touch.
Mm-hmm. And we got the family, and it gets a close up. It's just the same picture tilted sideways. So, and Ronnie does not look very happy there for some reason.
No.
And that was it. So, anything else? I mean, before let's give our final thoughts, I guess.
I think I summed it up in the beginning. I just really love this movie. It has some sort of, I don't know, some charming element of it. I can't put my finger on it. I don't really have the words for it. It captivates me. I don't know why. I love it. How do you feel about it?
Well, I didn't say earlier. I don't remember if I saw this when this was new or not. I may have, but when I watched it for our review here, I don't remember it, so possibly not. But I would say the movie was interesting. It had some funny moments to it, And if you could suspend your disbelief about the whole everyone just falling in love instantly, uh, yeah, that part is just completely unbelievable. I was like shaking my head, like, wait, what? But if you just realize it's a comedy, then don't think about it, then it's fine. So yeah, I would think it's a fun movie. I'm not sure if I'd watch it again anytime soon, but it's definitely a fun movie. Maybe sometime down the line, if I felt like watching, I might watch it again. But it's definitely a fun movie. But I would say it's the best movie I've ever seen, though. So,
Right.
alrighty, what would you give what kind of rating would you give this?
I would probably give it um for me probably a 9 out of 10. I love it
Wow,
every time I see it.
9 out of
I don't
10.
know why. It has some, I cannot, maybe it's something magical because logically this shouldn't be one of my favorite movies. I don't know why I love it so much.
I would say I'd probably give it about a 7.5 out of 10, so, for me.
That makes sense.
And it's
I also,
I would recommend it too. I would recommend it, but I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't go out of my way just to watch it all over anytime soon, though. So
right. I
you're gonna,
think I also like it because it makes me think.
oh really? In what way? What do you mean?
I don't know. It kind of makes me think about, well, first of all, I remember the first time I watched it, I had a greater appreciation for my parents. I don't know why, but their dynamic of having like the grandparents, the parents, and the children living there. Well, I never knew any of my grandparents really, so I feel like that made me appreciate my parents more.
Hmm,
And it just kind of makes me think about. It reminds me of life, and it makes me think about life in like in a sweet kind of way, not like, oh, everyone's gonna die and I'm gonna die and we're all gonna die and everything's sad, but in a way where it's like everyone finds love and life is really intricate and complicated kind of way.
hmm. Okay. And I will say, even though the love part is completely unbelievable because it happens too fast,
Yeah.
uh, I would say that the rest of it, though, they do seem like natural character. Everyone seems like a natural way of act. They seem like come across as a very, very realistic otherwise. So,
Yeah, not like I feel like a lot of that's a good point because I never thought about it that way, but I feel like a lot of the characters seem just like average people, and it just kind of feels like we're watching average people live their lives
mhm.
instead of rather than even though Nicolas Cage and Cher and Olympia Dukakis are particularly huge celebrities, it doesn't feel like I'm watching huge celebrities get paid a bunch of money to act. I feel like I'm just watching people live their lives, which is cool.
When this movie came out, I don't think he was very well known at the time yet. He was
You're
in
probably
movies.
right.
He was just getting his name out there, so he was kind of but yeah, but I know what you're saying though. But Cher was definitely very, very well known. So she was definitely the main pair. Everyone knew who she was. But I think Nicolas Cage was just, I remember in the same year he came out with a movie called Raising Arizona, and I don't think I'd ever seen him before that. But I'm not. That's just my opinion. I don't, and I know he's in a couple of movies before that I didn't see. So, but yeah, she was definitely and now definitely from a what do you call it, like a past perspective, or I know there's a word for it, I can't think of it, but looking at it from the from a looking at it from the past, this movie is, yeah, definitely these are both big name stars now for sure. So
Right.
and I think he's even more popular, definitely more popular than she is. So,
I don't know. It might depend on who you ask.
oh
But
really?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other final thoughts before we wrap everything up?
There was a movie that it reminded me of, but I forget what it was called now. So, no, not really.
Okay, well, we can go check our question out. Let me go bring that up here. So we got a pretty decent response. Bring it up here. 84 votes so far. Have you ever been to the opera? If so, which one? With 50%, just over half saying 52% yes, 32% saying no, I'm not interested, and 15% no, but I want to. Interesting.
Wow. I thought it would be more no, I'm not interested than yes or no, I want to.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think that's what it would have. This may change like the other question we had for our last show. So we may come here next time and it'll be completely off base. It'll be the other way around. Like it'll be maybe 70% with no, I'm not interested. And yes, will be
Yeah.
or something. So, but yeah, I agree. I agree. So I'm a little surprised by that. Let me make sure there's no comments.
It's interesting when I think about like 84 people in a room. If I asked the crowd how many of them have been to the opera and half of them raised their hand, I would be like very surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess maybe we have a very, what kind of audience would you call that?
Musical?
Musically inclined. I don't know. Well, no, they wouldn't have to be musically inclined, but yeah, musical, I guess. But they just maybe a very appreciative audience. I don't know. So
Opera fans, maybe.
opera fans. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Did you have an idea as to what we would watch for next week or in our next show? I mean,
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with Moonstruck, and I don't know if you've seen it before, but I've been meaning to watch An American in Paris. I have not gotten around to it though, and it's the one from maybe the 50s or the 60s. I've been wanting to watch.
Okay, I'll bring it up right here. There we go. I'll bring it up on the screen. Oops, I lost it.
It's very. Oh yeah, 1951. Gene Kelly.
Oh, Gene Kelly. Okay, I like Gene.
I haven't seen it ever, but I've seen clips of it, and the dancing is so cool. So I think it could be a fun watch. I don't know if you've seen it or have an opinion on it.
I have not, but I do like Gene Kelly for sure. So he's in a movie that I watched called Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John. It came out in 1980, and
I have not heard of that one.
It's like a fantasy movie. Xanadu. I'll bring it up here. Look.
He was also in a pirate movie. I feel like I've seen a clip of that too.
Oh yeah, Gene Kelly's really known for his dancing. So, was he dancing in that one?
In Xanadu?
No, in the pirate movie.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. No, this is Xanadu right here. So, very much very dated looking, extremely dated looking. So, but yeah, that's okay. So we can go. Okay, An American in Paris. If I'm having problems obtaining that movie, I'll let you know. But if not, do you have a backup? You want to try maybe Xanadu then? If that doesn't work? Okay. Okay. So yeah, for next week, our next show, which will probably be in 2 weeks, most likely An American in Paris. But if I'm having issues obtaining the movie, then we may switch over to Xanadu. So, alrighty.
Okay, cool.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say to our viewers before we say goodbye?
Thank you for listening. That's it.
Alrighty, and thank you. And also, if you'd like to support what we're doing, we have the affiliate link for NordVPN in the description below. If you decide to purchase the service, that's right now, I believe it's about 70% off. Don't quote me on that if I'm wrong, but I believe it's about 70. And if you decide to get the service, that helps support what we're doing, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, bye-bye.